All right, good morning, afternoon, or good evening, wherever in the world you're in. We are starting session 374 of Tesos and Wi-Fi. This session is part of the free, 100% free, 98% in English, Wireless LAN Professionals Wi-Fi Design class. We have been working with Hamina. Now we are entering Sidos, and that's Sidos. I think the AI makes a summary. That's what we post in our website, and it just did Sidos. So let's see if it catches it. For those of you that are new or are watching this video later, all of the recordings are uploaded to the Wi-Fi-of-things.com, and that's yesterday's sessions right there. If you go to the WLANPros Wi-Fi design class, that's where all of the sessions in English are. If you go to the clase de diseño Wi-Fi de WLANPros, that's all of the ones we've done in Spanish. We haven't started with Sidos there. We will be starting with Sidos there probably next week. All right. So yesterday, let me just go back to my sites. Let's bring up this office building, Tesos English. That's the one. We went through the navigation of the software. We shared an account hidden. Looks like your account worked. That's good. Floor plans. Let me share the floor plans again. Let me put them on the chat window. Maps, here we go. Warehouse arena, office floors, open. Okay, all of the floor plans are on the chat window now. Looks like everybody's got an account. All right. So we were looking at the navigation options. And here, the visualization, the overview, that's where we land, and that's the first one. We ended up here on the building side of things. Let me go over and make this 2D. And when we go to walls, here's where we left off. Did anyone try to play a little bit more? Do you have any questions or comments before we continue? Okay.
I missed the end of yesterday. Did you draw have you drawn those walls?
Oh yeah, we drew. Well, no, we haven't actually drawn some walls. This is the AI thing that apparently you guys don't have it. So
that was going to be my next question, because I saw it in the help documentation that there's AI wall drawing, and I don't have it on mine. So
yeah, and apparently nobody does.
Apart from you.
Yeah, apparently I have it. I don't know. I probably have me on some trial or something where I have that enabled on my account, but apparently, that's this thing. Apparently, you guys don't.
That's where I wanted to know. Great.
Yeah, so I could. Let me just Control A. If I do Command, let's see, Control A. So with Control A, I selected all the walls, 68 of them. I could delete them, and they're all gone. Now we're all in the same blank space then, because we haven't drawn any walls. So if I have walls in here, I have to select the option. The objects is the equivalent of attenuation objects, okay, or attenuation. How does Hamina call it? Let's see. Let me switch to 2D. Hamina called that attenuation objects. So in here in Sidos is only called objects. Then there is floors. We'll talk about it later when we create the building. There is doors and windows and slopes. That's it. So we are basically on when we go to building or Control 8, that's where we're going to be creating all of the obstacles, all the attenuation areas and walls and racks and furniture and all the stuff. So let's start with walls. To draw walls, I select walls. The crosshairs is these blue lines that when I move my mouse, kind of shows me the whole horizontal and vertical axis. The materials, if you click, see there's drywall in there. If you click on it, it shows you just a handful of materials that we have. You can add a new one. If I go to add a new one, then I call it whatever I want the name to be. See, I just call this concrete. And then this is the list of colors. Let's just make that green. Attenuation index, let's say this material I'm going to create attenuates 10 dBs. And now I have one called concrete. If I then, let's say, start here, is one click, left click. Oh, where did I go? I went to slopes. I was in walls. Here, let's go to walls. Again, thought I was in walls. And then I will create, I can add a wall in here. Let me make sure there's not one called concrete here. And make sure there's one, 10 dB right there. We're in walls and then one click. And we talked about it yesterday. If I just move the mouse to draw a wall, it goes 90 degrees, 45, 0 degrees. So it has that 45-degree jump. To release that one, you hold the control key. Then you can just go wherever you want it to go. Okay, it removes that 45-degree jump. So if I am going to come, let's say, and drop that wall like in this corner, then click, then come to this corner, click, and then come here, click, and just draw around the building. And we can come then later and change the materials on some of these stuffs. Like I'm just leaving a click right there, okay? I'm not just doing one long line. It just, I left a click right there. Now I'm gonna do another click here and another click there because we're gonna change that for glass as we did in the other one. Then click and then down here, click and to end, and come on, click right there. And to end the wall, right click. Then if I switch to 3D, there is the outside wall. Let's change these segments in here for glass, and so the same thing for this area. Or perhaps we can draw doors in. Let's just see if that works. So we just did the outside wall. Let me just change the material from concrete to drywall. And let me just draw from here. Now, let me show you something that I like. Click and right click. See, if I was not very precise, so this guy is like all the way out here. If I grab this, let me see if this will let me, and then bring it over here. But this feature over here that says snap to wall, if I enable that, okay, if I enable that, just move this guy here, click and drag this guy. Let me drag, I'm using the wrong button. Hang on. Then notice that as I move the mouse, if I, for instance, want to draw these walls, like this wall and that wall and this wall, as soon as I get the mouse nearby, see this white dot? That snaps to there. So even like if I click here and there, it snapped to the one on top. See a white dot right there in the intersection? And then click. So that way I right click, it just snaps to that wall like right in the middle without me being too precise in coming and like clicking right where it needs to be. And that prevents me from going, above or cutting it short and adding walls, snapping to other walls. So this feature, and this is when the having those blue lines helps. Click, just click, click, and right click. I right clicked on one wall and selected it. Click, click, right click. Let me click and move this guy over here, and then click, click, right click. And this one, click, click, right click. Let me finish this area over here. Let's go back and right there, click, click, right click. And let me just draw from here, click, and bring it all the way across. Click, click, right click, 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 click. Come on, click, and right click. And to finish, let me just draw this in here. Click, 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 right click, click. Let me zoom in so we can click, click, right click, and let's just draw one from here, there, click, and that's gonna be a column, and right click, and then click, click, right click. And if I wanna draw the bathrooms in a simple way like this, then we can just go and click, 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 right click. It's just a lot of click, 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 right click, guys. That's how it goes with this stuff. And yeah, I know I'm probably not like being very precise in drawing every single wall and tiny wall and division and doors. We'll draw the doors in a little bit. Let's see if that feature works good. Click, 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 right click, 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 right click. So let's say if I can move this wall over here. Yeah, that works. So like if I want to move a wall or this guy, see right there, I'm not clicking on it. I just hover over it. And when it's highlighted, if I click, I can just move it and drag it somewhere else. Or let's see if I can like grab this end. Let me just zoom in and extend it. See, I just click on one of those two dots at the end, and then you can just extend it. Or if I right click on it, see, now that one is blue. The other ones are like faded in the background. I can change the material. I say like, no, that's not drywall. Let's say that's glass. So by changing it, I just change the material. Let's go to 3D. There it is. Since I said it's glass, it's a transparent material. That wouldn't be very good in that case, but unless that's a shower, But if that's a toilet and here's the sink, you probably don't want a glass window. I was just showing, okay? Now let's draw some real glass here by the entrance. Because this, let me switch to 2D. In here, we're going to have some glass doors. So we can either replace this whole segment. If I right click, I can just change that where it says material for glass, or let's just give the doors thing a try. So I'm in doors. One thing that I evidently hasn't been fixed is that when I went from walls to doors, the previous material I had selected, which was drywall, when I was drawing this drywall is selected. So that's why even though I have like doors, let me just see if I click and right click. Let's go to 3D. I just added a drywall door. So it doesn't change me to like a list of doors. It just leaves selected whatever material I had selected. Let's see if Command Z works, Control C. Yeah, Control Z works, that it undoes whatever I did before. Or there is also, not on this option, but in walls, you can do undo previous wall, and it will just remove whatever other wall I did. If I go to doors then, let's select the material glass, and we're gonna draw then, let me see if I can from here, click, click, and come all the way here. Click. And refresh. Come on. Let me come back over here. Zoom in. Let me draw here on the doors. Go to glass. And then click. Click. And right click. And let's go to 3D and see if it's true. Yep, I have a glass door. Of course, I didn't like draw a middle. You could have left another break in there, but that's it. Okay, now I guess I could draw another. I wonder if I draw this door from here. Click. Yeah. Let's see if it let us do one from here. I'm on doors, glass. Oh, it doesn't just let me click, click, right click. I guess I have to be on a wall so that it inserts that door in it. Okay, let's see if I do the same thing then in here. Click. So let's draw a glass door here. Click. Click. And it's just, I don't have to right click because apparently it understands that the door is just a 2-click segment, 1 click, and that's it. Now, if I go to edit, well, I guess I cannot edit that's to edit the material. If I come over here, I would be able to then change the height of the door itself. And this offset, let's see if this works to make a window. Because if I go to 3D, it's doing a good job on the doors, okay? But what if I want to add a window in here? So let's go to Windows. And so I'm going to draw a window from here, click. And of course, it goes to drywall. So glass. So I got to go back and change that to glass, the material. And then click. And click. And then 3D. There is a window. So here is then where I would change the properties of it. So the window goes from 1.2 meters from the ground up. And then the height, okay, I see the problem we were having yesterday. This is not like in Hamina, I think in Ekahau, you also define where it starts and where it ends from the ground. Okay, that's what we do in Hamina. Let me go back to Hamina here real quick. If I go to walls, let's say, look at one of these ones that we define, the top, this is the top of the material. This is where is the bottom of that material. So it always, if you don't have anything there, it goes from the ground up. In here, if I say this guy is, let's say 50 centimeters, that means from the ground, 50 centimeters up, that material starts. And then this upper, the top height is from the ground all the way up. And then that's how you define the height of it. So if you have a 1 meter window, that is like the top of it is at 2 meters. So you'll have 1 meter from the ground up to the bottom. And then it's going to be 2 meters from the ground up to the top. In here, the way it's doing it is this. You define the bottom. And then you just say how high the material is from the bottom. That's why when what were we drawing yesterday that it didn't give us? Was it a door or something that it just didn't let us go any higher than, we were trying to make a wall up high. So in this case, if I define then that the height of this wall is 1.2, let me make sure. Let me go to 2D and back to 3D. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm changing the next window I do. If I want to change the configuration of this guy, if I right click, okay, let me see if it lets me. Oh, this is to define this. Okay, so this I remember from when I was doing that factory. Once you make the change on something, this applies to the next one I place. So if I place a new one here, let's say from there, click, let me just glass, and then click, and let's go to 3D. See, now it goes from the ground up 1.2 meters, and then the height of the material itself, of the window, is 1.2 meters. That gives me a whole, see, almost the 2.5 that I have in there, the whole height. I wonder, how do I, if I say have this guy selected, I don't have the option to, oh, what if I selected here? Hang on. So right click, that guy is selected. What if I do this then? If I make the height of this guy only 60, will that apply to this guy? No. Okay, let me go back to Windows. And why are you, let me escape. Escape is also like a right click, it just gets you out of whatever. If I have this guy selected, I escape, it's not selected anymore. So let me come to 3D. I want to lower this guy. If I click on it, and you know, later we're going to have Matthew Rogue from Sidos join us. I'm sure he's going to also show us things that we're like trying to figure out ourselves in here. That he's going to say like, oh, you have to hold this key, or there's another trick for it. But this one is that guy, this guy, that will be the next one, but I need to change this guy. So if I select this guy, I thought I would be able to do that in here because in Windows, it only shows the material, or I can delete it. And if I hit edit, this is to edit just the material and the color, the attenuation. If I'm on walls, watch, if I'm on walls and I come and select, let's say right click this wall, this allows me to not only change the material or edit it, but it also gives me the height and offset. So I think in the past I had that on the windows, because in here, if I want to change, so if I say the height of this wall is only 1.5 meters, and let's say, see, now it lets me because it's defining the height 9, and that's as high as I can go. See, I cannot go any higher than this from the ground because the sum of these two has to be the height of the floor we define when creating the project. That's why it asks you how high the floor is. Not the floor as in like the ground level, but the whole floor to the ceiling. It says how high is it? Because that's as high as I can go. I cannot place APs higher than that height. So if I want to have an AP above the floor, I mean above the ceiling, then I cannot just say that the AP is 3 meters high because it's not going to let me. So now that I change this, let's make sure, let me tap this guy out of here. If we go to 3D, yeah. This is working now. Now this makes sense. See, if I then say like, no, you are at the ground level, see, at 0 meters, and then I say, and the wall is 2.4, then it fills up the rest of it. Does that make sense, guys, what I just did? So in here is defined a little bit different.
And that's the opposite to Hamina, where if you put the AP above the ceiling height, it just raised the ceiling height, didn't it?
Yes. When we changed the AP, we said 3 meters, then all of the walls, boom, went up to 3 meters. In here, if I want to change it, like, because watch, if I now go back to access point, and here's one of the things that I think needs adjusted a little bit. If I want to place access points in here, I would have to go over to the details, I mean, to the coverage visualization. And once I go to coverage, I don't see my walls. I think there's something I can enable to see my walls. Show walls in design right here. Okay. And here is when once it starts getting like too busy, too complicated with materials and stuff, I could change the transparency or the wall opacity. See? So they're not like too obvious in my face. Sometimes I need to like be able to see through. This is the equivalent of course, we're just using what we learn in Hamina and see how those concepts are called in here. That's the transparent view, make transparent in 3D, or the option here where we go to the building, to the align floors, and then let's see. Construct, you have that. Okay, if you are on 3D and you click the multi-floor, then you can do a transparent building, but this does it to the entire building, to all of the materials. Okay, in here, or let me just exit this guy and go to 2D. Or if I go to the walls in here, I can make transparent in 3D that material. So when we're in 2D, we can see clearly that's brick, that's red. And if I go to 3D, then I can just make that material transparent by selecting the material. In Sidos, then we have the, if we want to modify the walls though, see, if I come back here to my, my 2D visualization, see, if I want to select a wall or change a wall or do something, I can adjust, let's see, like click it in here. I cannot click it or right click it, nothing. I would have to go over to building to be able to modify any of the materials. And when I'm working on building, I don't see any access points. Okay, so let's just play with a little bit of the walls and windows. So now I think, let me just go over. Let's put this guy in 3D. I have a window, another window. Let me go to windows. And notice, I'm in walls right now. I don't see any windows. I thought I didn't have any windows, but I thought I did some, but I have to go to windows. Then I will see the windows. And let's see if I go to doors, then I have a door there. Let's make sure we have glass selected, and let's draw another click, another door in here. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Let me go back over here and see to 2D, and let's go to Windows, and let's see if I right click that guy, select it. And if I come over to here, is it go? No, one, because that should have moved that guy down or changed the size, but it's not making the change on this material. Okay, so that this is not working. The wall is that we can just change it as we go, but this one evidently something with the windows is not working. Let me make note. Shielding, let's do here wall. Now let these guys know. Say the windows not changing. Okay. If I have a window like this, I guess the next one I place, if I place another window in here, click, come on, click and right click, then it does add that 40 centimeter tall window that the bottom starts at 1.2 meters from the ground. All right. So that's it for Windows, I guess. And I guess each one, if I go to the next one, let's say I create, there's a thin glass right here. I change the material, but the characteristics of height and offset remain. So that was one of the things that hasn't changed, because last year, whatever I did to this and then the next material, because if now I want to like draw windows out here going to the street, not these little windows going to the office, but just like make a big window, I'll have to adjust it, or else, watch this. If I, let's say, draw a window from there here and right click, now I kept the material that I had selected, the thin glass, but it kept the same characteristics, the same height and the one I did before. So I have to go back to 2D, select this guy, and since I cannot change this, I'm gonna have to just delete it, change this. Let's say this starts at, let's say, 50 centimeters and goes up to, that's as high as it goes. Well, let's make it lower. Let's make it, here you go, 1.4, 1.679. So if I draw a window with these characteristics, click 3D, then I just make that tall window. If let me just draw another one with a different characteristic next to it. Let's just say it's not thin glass, it's gonna be thick glass, 4 dB. I have to change the characteristics for this guy. So if I wanna make this guy lower, 1.6, and let's say this one goes to from 30 centimeters, then let's drive from here, click and 3D. There we go. I just changed the height of it and the bottom, and I just have a thicker window. But I cannot just like select a whole bunch of them, then change the height. If I messed up, then that's what I remember doing that that factory, that it just took quite a bit of time because I had to go and make these changes every time I change materials. The one thing, let me see if this is gonna let me do this. If I right click on this window, let me see if I can Control C. Oh, you know what? The controls, see this controls drop down. It will show you what you can do in here. Start drawing, left click, select window, right click, which I did, right click, select multiple ones, then control left click and select all, control A. So if I have this window and I hold my control and select, oh, where are the other windows? Oh, there's another window right here. Control left click, I have those two windows selected. Let's see if I can copy. Oh, no copy. So it looks like if I do Control C, Control V, yeah, I cannot copy that. Let's see, I think walls that do work. If I come, see I have a wall, and if I right click on this guy, the controls here are richer. See, I have start drawing, stop drawing, draw freely. That's holding the control key. Then select the element, right click, select multiple with click and left click, control and left click. And here, notice that I have the select all with control A, copy, control C and control V, and split element. I guess this is to add a break in the material. So I could copy walls because I've done that in multiple floors. We'll see that later. But then apparently when you go to Windows, you cannot just like select this window, control C and control V, does nothing. So if I have to draw multiple windows, I have to draw them every single one. I cannot just copy and paste. And the other thing I remember, if I paste something, of course, same as in Hamina, it will paste it like up here. Then I have to click on it, drag it, and put it where it goes. So let's just draw some windows. Should we, Matias? Let's draw windows. So let's just do thin glass. That's not thin glass. This is thin glass. Let's do thin glass and let's change this characteristic before we start placing windows. So let's just say this is a little bit higher. It goes 1.3. Here we go. Let's make it that way. So now we just start drawing windows in here. Click. Oh, let me come over. Windows there. Let me zoom in because escape will get me out of whatever I had selected. And let's draw one from here. Click and click, and another one from here. Click, click, and another one here. Click, and click, and 3D. There we go. Not too bad. The only thing is you have to draw them all. So since I'm in Windows, let me just right click. See, because one thing I asked them and they should do is just add the characteristics of each material. Kind of like what I do in Hamina, that if I create a window that is 2 meters high and it goes from 50 centimeters from the ground and it's 2 dB and it's blue, then I want that when I select that material here, it changes to not only that color and that dB attenuation index, that it also changes the characteristics of it, the height, the size of it. But apparently here we're gonna, because here's the thing, if I change to, I don't know, let's say thick glass, this guy, it tab out of that, and then if I go to 3D, it changes to thick glass. Even though when we had thick glass over here, it doesn't go. See, this characteristic, this height and the offset, they don't go with each material. They just go with whatever I'm gonna do next, because I cannot change either like the characteristic of that window. If I wanna make that window taller or bigger or higher or lower, I cannot select it, right click, select it, and I cannot just come and change anything here, because what I change is for what I'm gonna do next. Unless Matthew later comes and says like, oh yeah, you can do that. You just have to hold W. Okay. This is drawing walls, drawing windows. We will draw more walls. Yes. We have done now the windows in this area. Let me escape so that I unselect that guy and it puts me down here. And then let's just draw some doors. If I go to doors, then I see that I have a door in there. Let me just draw another door here. And it has glass, so click, and then another one, click, and then click. I assume, see, I'm indoors. Let's see if I can right-click this guy and control click this guy, click, that's selected, and click. So I have these 3 doors selected. If I change the material, let's say, go to concrete, escape. So I just made 3 concrete doors. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's like not exciting. That's boring, Ferney. Here, let me select this guy, right click, and then hold my control and click and click. Now I have those 3 selected. Let's change it back to glass. Can I copy him? Control C, Control V, nope. No controls for this guy that allow me to copy. So guess what, Matias? You're gonna have to draw all the doors, man. You're gonna be drawing walls. Just get your headset, your favorite type of music, and start drawing doors. There we go. Man, that's gonna be a lot of drawing doors if we're gonna draw every. And this is, if this is not glass, then I guess I'm gonna have to select it. What other type? Light door. Let's make that a light door. And here, let's change this material here to a light door. Light door. And then we'll make these light doors. Click, click, and then another, and then again click, and then click. And then this is the elevator. So let's make that a steel door. Oh man, that's gonna be heavy. Click, click, and then click, click. Then if I go to 3D, there you have it. Multiple doors. And again, the doors are set in here. I don't think, let's just go over. And if I select this door, let's say I want to make this door taller, because right now it says door height is 2 meters. Well, actually, let's make it shorter. If I want to make this guy shorter, I don't think, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't change that door that I have selected. I can either delete it, change the material. Let's make it open door, 0 dB. Why don't you just delete it? Glass. I can change the material. Okay. But I cannot, see, I changed the height, but that's going to change the height of the next one I do. If now, let's just draw this door in here, then click, 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 and 3D. See, it just now made that midget door right there. So whatever I change here for doors and windows applies to the next door or window I draw. Okay. Questions up to this point? Comments, insults, anything? What do you have? We should have started with this, huh? Instead of Hamina. Then you're like, oh yeah, cool, I can do 3D and this stuff. And then you go to Hamina, like one click and boom. Actually, you don't even have to click. It automatically brings doors and windows and all the stuff. Which, how many doors or windows or walls do we draw on this one? You remember? Zero. I just brought it in. So yeah, to do something like this, yeah, and Hamina is mostly automatic. That's really cool. Sidos, not so much, but it is possible, okay? So I guess now that we have covered the concepts, I don't have to do every single wall and door and window that we have in here. We'll play with walls a little bit more. Now you know how to add them. Let's go to objects. Let's draw some attenuation objects like the chairs and the columns. See, we have the columns in here. These guys, let's draw some columns and some tables. Okay, let me go back to 2D. And I am on the objects, the object in here. See the list of attenuation materials? I don't have any. So if I want to draw a column, you're going to have to create a column. So let's make that column this thing. Let's make it column. And let's make it that color. And let's say this is a 5 dB per meter material. Boom, now I have a material. So now I can draw a column. So I cannot draw a circle. So I'll just click and come over here and click. And that's my column, okay? Notice that it's like really high, like higher than the walls.
Give me a second, let's not put.
If I switch eyes on the screen, if from here I go to control 3, which is coverage. Oh, hang on. Let me come over here. Control 8, that's building. Come on, come on. Come on, control 8. See, it shows that it's higher than the walls. This is an undocumented feature. I was going to say a bug, but that sounds very negative, huh, Mark? It's an undocumented feature. If I go here, those attenuation areas look really big, but when I go over to my coverage, it just shows the actual height of that column, 2.4 meters. If I want to go and modify that guy, go back to building. There it is in 2D. Let's see if I right-click on this guy. This one does allow me to change the height and the offset. We will work on this to create air ducts, as we did in the other one. But for now, let's just draw more columns. Columns I can copy and paste, or attenuation objects. Let's see. See, if I have this guy selected and I control C and control V, it pasted it somewhere. Hang on. Let's try again. Control C, control V. It just pasted it right here. So I can just click on it and move it wherever I need. Now, what if I right-click on you, hold my control key, and click on you? Now I have those two selected. If I do control C and control V, oh, I was doing command, control C and control V, it pasted the two over here. Let's place this guy over there, and then let's grab this guy and bring it over here. Okay, now I have those 4 columns. So if I go to 3D, I have those columns right there. Yes, I could draw all of these circles are columns, I assume. Let me just right-click on this guy, control C, control V, control, hang on. Did it paste it somewhere? Right-click, select the item, control C, control V. Here's the new one. So I place it over there. And then control V again. And then, oh, wait a minute. Hang on, let me try one thing. What if I put my mouse over here and I do control V? Oh, this is awesome. This is great. If I put my mouse over here and do control V, oh, this is brilliant. See, I can across this by accident. In other tools, you paste it and then paste it like a little bit off, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and then you have to go find it and bring it over. Oh, this is beautiful, man, because if I control V right there, wherever I put my mouse, oh, my life just got brighter. Here you go. Bring this guy over here. And then this is amazing. See, this is something I cannot do with Hamina. Take that, Hamina. I know you're the best and number one.
Okay, naturally funny. You can.
Go ahead.
I think you have a new feature. So if you're drawing like objects, and let's say you have a row of columns, a row of 10 columns in a straight line, for example. So after you create your first column, and then you copy and paste, and you put the second column, objects to the second column, yeah. And then when you paste the third one, it will automatically paste onto the next column, and then you control V, you automatically paste on the next column, and so on and so on and so forth. So you don't have to.
Say that again, because here, let me just control C.
No, I mean not Sidos. Hamina, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, no. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let me go back here because I was like, okay, show me.
No, not Sidos. Yeah, Hamina.
You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me which
sorry.
software because we're using all of them here, man. Okay.
Yeah.
So you say when I draw a column. So let's just go to let me go to 2D. So if I do an attenuation object, I just create. I think we have a column here. Well, I just create one. Let's duplicate this guy and call it column. Okay. Now what? Let's create it. Make say this guy is 3 meters high, and let's make it pink and save. Okay. So I draw. Let's pretend that all these circles are
numbers are column. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
So I draw one, right?
Yeah, just draw one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you copy and paste.
Okay. So let me select this guy. Oh, let me edit this guy. Copy this guy. Command C. And then Command V.
Yep. And then just put on 13.
Then what?
Put that second one onto 13.
Oh, drag it.
Drag to 13. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you control paste again. Control V.
Control
V.
Oh.
There you go. Control V again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So it will paste. So what?
It takes,
I mean, it's a little bit off.
Measurements.
It's a little. So you get the measurement between this one and the next one.
Probably. Yeah.
And then, okay, that's really cool too. How come you didn't say anything about that in the Hamina class? But this is
just
really
learned
nice.
about it.
Wow. Okay. That helps. Yeah, because a lot of times we have a whole bunch of columns in rows, especially in warehouses, that we can definitely benefit from this. The other thing I've done is if I have like 2 rows of this stuff, in here is really easy. I can just select, let's say 2, 3, 6 of them, then Control C, Control V, and then this one, let me just zoom in so that I don't grab it from the edge. And then these ones I can just move there. Okay. But this is not Hamina, is it, Simon? Let's go back to Sidos. In here, then I can also, if I right click on this guy, it's selected. If I hold my control key and select the next one and select the next one, I have those 3 selected. I can Control C and Control V. Oh, did I have everything selected? No, that's it. So now that I have these 3, I would have to control, let me see, right click on the first one and then control and then left click and left click. And I should be able to move those 3 wherever I need them to move them. Okay. Okay. But let me just delete those 3 guys. Oh, no, 3 objects. Yes, those 3. But this, I don't know if it's intended. I didn't know about this, but the fact that I can right click on this guy selected, Control C, and then just wherever I have my mouse, Control V. Oh, I still had the other 3. Let me Command Z or Control Z. Which one? Which one? Hang on. That's one thing I fight with this thing is that the Control Z for undoing stuff doesn't really work. But Command Z, no, doesn't work here. And there's not undo previous thing in here. So yeah, this thing needs a lot of still needs a lot of tuning, polishing. So let me select this guy and delete it. Okay. If I go to 3D, yeah, don't let this mess with your head because those beams are not higher. It's just that if I go to control and coverage, now it shows me the height of those guys. Let's draw some couches, okay, and some tables, and then we move on to creating a building because time's running out. And it's Friday. And when do we place all those APs? Oh, yeah, yesterday we placed all those APs in there. All right, let's go back to building. So in here, we have played a little bit with walls. We have a list of materials. You choose a material, make sure that the height and all that stuff is adjusted. We play with doors, added some doors. Yes, you have to go and manually draw all the doors. Let me just draw a couple other ones in here. Let's just do the this glass with this guy right there. Click. click, and then let's draw another one in here, click, click, and then another one in here, click, and click. We don't want to leave this without doors because then we're going to get a building violation. We don't want to leave people trapped in here in case there is an earthquake. Man, that earthquake in Colombia this week was bad news. Well, what earthquake is good news? But yeah, it's pretty bad. Some guys that I know were affected by it. Their houses destroyed. There's one of the Tesos and Wi-Fi guy that is working in a town called Buenaventura on the Pacific coast, just helping people clean up and cooking and just getting food prepared for people that lost their homes and everything. Okay, so I drew some doors and windows. I mean, it's not that bad. I know it sounds like really bad when we're trying to draw something and we cannot copy, paste, and do certain things, but it's not the end of the world, okay? I did that big. Now, can you see how much time I spent doing that factory? That took many hours. I don't know how many because I don't count hours, but it took a while because this is not as slick as Hamina, but it's possible to get stuff done. See, if I want to then go to objects and draw, let's just create a new one. And let's create I don't know, table. And then let's say I want to make it yellow. Why not? And then from here, click. There, click. Click. And oh, it took me back to the material I had selected. Let me escape out of it. Let me go to column. Hey, didn't I create one? Okay, let me add. Oh, I probably didn't hit create, huh? I just hit table. Name. Color, attenuation object. Let's just say it's just 1 dB per meter and create. Now that I created that, let's see if I click here. And table. Now watch this. It creates one to the height of the ceiling. Okay. Remember that height that we defined when we created the project? Everything I create goes to the height. So I would have to, let me just go to, oh, actually, if I 2D, right click and select this guy and go back to 3D, I can change the height. Let's just say, no, that table is only 90 centimeters and it goes from the ground up. So if I look at it from here, see, I just created a block. And you say like, yeah, you cannot create a table like you did in Hamina. Like, yes, I can. Watch. If I go, let's just leave that block right there. And then next door, we're going to build a table with the top and the legs. Remember what we did in Hamina? Let's do it here. If then now I have to, let me just go to 2D. We're going to create attenuation objects. Let's create a new one. Let's make this orange one. Let's make this table legs. And then let's just say, sure, this is 1 dB. So now I have created this guy, and I'm going to say that these table legs are, if that's 90 centimeters. So let's make this guy. Let's make this guy point. So this will be 80 centimeters. Yeah, this works. So if I then draw a little attenuation area here, that's going to be a leg. And then if I right click and Control C, and then let's put my mouse where I want it, like right there, and Control V. Ah, this is beautiful, man. This is outstanding. Because then now I can just place my mouse there and click, and I place my mouse here and click, and I don't have to find it and then drag it and put it there. This is beautiful. I like it. So now if I go to 3D, I should have those 4 little short guys right there. Now let's draw a tabletop. So let's create a new material and let's call this tabletop. And then let's make that a different color. Let's make that this kind of like, I don't know, dark yellow color. Let's give it a value. Let's create it. And let's say that this tabletop, the height of it is only 10 centimeters, which is thick, right? But then the offset, we say that this guy is going to start at 80. Okay. So now if I draw from here over to here and 3D, dun, 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 look at that. See, can do a table here too. No different than we did in Hamina. Okay. It's just that in Hamina it kind of looks cooler, huh? The colors, the shapes, the shades, everything is like so slick in here. Well, good for them, but I can do the same thing here in Sidos. Can draw a table with legs and everything. Look at that. Look at that. Not bad, huh? My own table with 4 legs. It's not that hard. Okay, once you do it a few times, it's good. Oh, Mark, import chairs, desks, and furnitures? No. You're just asking too much, man. Come on.
A question. If you
Yes,
want
sir.
a backup before you move further on, can you do that?
If I want to do what, a backup?
Yeah, before you do the rest of the work.
No,
So
because
you have something
no,
you can go back
no,
on if you mess up.
no. I can. Oh, well, hang on one second. I think if I go to let's see here, rename, export design. I don't know what this export does. Select vendor, export for AP model. Export. I don't know what this does. Rename, add. I think there is a way to duplicate. Let's see, add building, delete, edit. About you. These are the recent ones, fiber plant, office building. How about if we go to sites and I'm here in office building, Tesos English, that's the one we're working on. If I click on it, it brings me there. Hang on. I thought there was, these are groups that I have created. I thought there were 3 points in here somewhere that you could do something with this project. But evidently not. When you go here to share on one of your projects, what do you see? Or what options do you see in here? Same thing? I mean, I have some groups that I have created with other students and other places. What do you, when you go to your home and you click on a project, it just has share and nothing in it? Anybody?
I have the extension for my company.
Okay, you have a group.
Yeah.
Only Sidos class.
You see what?
Sidos class.
Sidos class. Yeah, that would be this group. So all of us, if you share, if I share this project with Sidos class, hang on, with Sidos class is selected. Now, refresh your screen. You should probably see 2 buildings. Whatever you have in there and my office building should show up on your screen. Is it showing up in there?
Yeah. Office building.
Okay. But then here is not like in Hamina that you just go and share this project and type the email of another person with a valid Hamina account. In here, you cannot create like who you're going to share this with. As far as I know, I don't think that's changed. Yeah. When I would like these groups, I asked these guys to create them for me. So I always have to bother Matthew Rogue and tell like, hey, Matthew, I need a group created for this class, or I need a group created, and then say, what are the username? Then he creates a group. So I want to have control of that. If I want to share this with Jono, then I want to be able to come here and share and, I don't know, type Jono's Sidos email account, and then have Jono open that in his account without the intervention of anybody at Sidos. Because go ahead.
I was going to say, by default, without nagging Matthew for custom settings, what you get is you just get your entire organization or nobody. So all I have is to share it with the other users, and that's it.
And you can have that group created, but again, that's it. If I want to share with somebody out of the organization, there's like no way I can say, you know, Guillermo, I need you to look at this file and tell me, or I need you to help me draw the walls or do something in this one. I cannot just share it, you know. So I mean, they'll get there. We hope, right? make things easy. That's what competition does, doesn't it? So like, well, this guy's doing, how come you, let me, and that's what Ekahau is doing right now. They're just playing catch up with Hamina. They're playing catch up with Sidos, trying to replicate all of the options that these guys do really well. So let me go back to this old German. The answer right now is no. I don't think you can just back it up in case I mess up. But wait a minute. I know these guys have duplicated things I've done. There has to be a way that if I go areas of interest, report overview, I wonder if it's an overview. That's where I am. Planner sites, rename site, edit, delete, add building, Tesos. How about here? Well, how about if I export this design? Let's just export this, say for vendor, I don't know, Cisco. Just put Cisco right there. Select model. So what if I export this, what is it going to do? Oh, so it did duplicate what I had. So this is the original one. And if I go, it has 19 radius. And if I go in coverage, I have 19. If I select this AP is a Cisco 9120 AXI. Okay. Oh, but then maybe the export I should have done with a different model. Okay, let's do that again. So let's go and see if I go to building, everything's there. If I go to coverage, everything's there. And this guy, Cisco. Okay, now let's do the same thing. Oh no, don't tell me this is what I'm thinking. Because if it is, I'm gonna be really happy. If I come here then and export this design, and let's say now I wanna do this with Ubiquity. And let's say I wanna use an E7 model, this guy, the E7. And export. 27 radius. Okay, let's try coverage. And if I select this AP, this is awesome, guys.
Yeah. The radio count will be different because you've gone from a dual band to a tri-band radio.
That's right. But the AP locations, the design, everything is there. Oh, I love this. I'm liking Sidos a lot now. Watch this.
I think it could do with a better name than export, but
yeah. How about duplicate project, or I don't know.
yeah.
So German, let me answer your question again. Yes, you can duplicate this in case you mess up. That's kind of like a backup, right? Because let's say,
Yes, but it should be possible to export without
oh,
any APIs.
no, but you know what? I think you're right. I think this one is just a new design. But if I change the building, watch. If I, oh yeah, you know what? I got too excited. Let's say I delete these beams. Okay, let me just delete you. Delete. Oh, right click and delete. Right click and delete. So now I deleted this from this guy, from the ubiquity. Okay. If I go to coverage, those beams are gone. See, if I go to 3D, so those beams are gone. If I go over to this other design, the original one, and then I go to coverage, oh no, it does keep separate ones. I thought it will remove the beams from all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel better. Because then I do have that design, and if I have to add, well, I wonder if I create buildings, because that's what we're going to get now. We're going to get to adding buildings. But let's do this. Let me go back to 2D. Let's go. Let's say on this original one, okay? I mean, we got diverted there a little bit, but that's okay. So this is the original one, and I'm on building. We were working with walls, doors, and windows, and objects. So let's create a new object called couch or chair. Chair, and let's make those chairs this red color. Attenuation, let's just say it's 2 dB per meter. Let's create a chair, and we have to define from it. That thing goes from the ground up, and let's say this is only what, 70 centimeters. Okay, so if I have this defined, and let's say I draw, and again, I cannot draw circles. So I'm just gonna click, and click right there. Let me just move this guy a little bit over there. And let's Control C, Control V. Oh, actually, hang on. Control, not Command, Control C. And then if I put the mouse here, Control V. And then in here, Control V. Come on. Control V. Then in here, Control V. Okay. And not the best of things, but hey, this works. Ooh, why is this guy showing like it's in the air? Let's do Control 3. It's actually on the ground. See? Not really. Where is it? Like off the ground. Why? Why? Let's just go back to building. And oh, because hang on. You just go to 2D. Select this guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me select you and Control and click, click, click. And you guys, you're not 70 centimeters high enough, the ground 80. You are at ground level. And you are 70 centimeters. So now if I switch to 3D, there they are. And if I go to Control 3, there we go. Now they're on the ground. Okay, let me click out of this guy. That's how we create, obstacles. Let me then show you how to create the air duct. Because that will be another thing that we would need. Create obstacles up in the air, which that's kind of like what that was. But if I go back to building, and then I'm going to create a new material. And let's call this air duct. And then let's make that guy blue. And let's say the attenuation is 4 dB per meter. Let's create it. And let's specify that that air duct is, let's say, only 40 centimeters high. And that guy is at 2 meters from the ground. And then I just come here and click, click, and click, and 3D. And boom, there you have it. Now we just drew an air duct. If we go to control 3, which takes me to the coverage one, there it is. I have simulated the air duct, and here are the columns, and there are the tables, and here are the couches. Even though I know we started with Hamina, and that's so slick and so cool, has so many options, and you can import chairs, and you can import all this stuff from these other websites, and really cool. This one, even though it's not so slick looking, it does the job, because the prediction is going to be the same. There are better features that I like here than in Hamina. Okay. The drawing part, yeah, don't get hung up on like, yeah, this is boring, this is lame. It didn't bring all the walls automatically. It didn't draw the doors automatically. That's all right. Because if I go to this place and go to my building, oh, I'm looking at the AP on a stick. Let me switch to the design. And if I go back to my building, see, all of that I did. I do control 3. And I'm going to have to go and change the transparency a little bit, the wall opacity, so you can see what is being drawn. See, all of this was simulated using Sidos. And the prediction is actually pretty good, because watch this. Let me go to 2D. Design. If I select, I don't know, let's say this access point, this is what the design says that AP should cover. I did an AP on a stick. Let me go to the coverage. And if I select that access point, and let me change the overlay, the prediction, let's make it some 10 meters and calculate. That's the prediction. I mean, that's the measured. Here's the prediction. Here's the measure. So as you can see, yes, I changed it probably too much. Let's just make it just 5 meters. Okay, this is what I measured. If I go to my design, come on, not you, you. What I measured, and here's what I predicted. That's my, and it's exactly the same. So all of this stuff that has been done in here, all of this building, let me just go to 3D, was done with Sidos. See? Yeah, I had to manually draw most of it, but let me tell you one thing. Hamina, as good as it is, it works really great when you have like walls and these things defined, but when I brought that arena, this guy, oh, well, it's not you, the one I wanted. Here, let me just go to the other one. Let me see if this is the one I want. Yeah, and I wonder if this is not the one with all the stuff in it. Let me see if I have all the drawings in here. Come on. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is when I brought this guy in Hamina, watch this. If I go to walls and I go to 3D, it brought walls. Yes, it helps, but then if I go to attenuation object, I mean, and of course, they're not going to be all the same heights and stuff. I see how to go and manually do. I mean, it helps a lot, okay? But then if I go to my, just come over here, attenuation objects. I go to 3D. There's like nothing. So when I go to the to this drawing that I've shown before that has all of the columns and the obstacles and everything, I had to draw every single thing manually. I mean, that's good in this type of scenarios when you have just like offices and walls and stuff. But when it comes to warehouses and factories, places like this, I tried this with Hamina. This exact floor plan that you see on the screen, I tried with Hamina. It imported nothing. It didn't know what to do with so many different obstacles and so many different things and the drawings and stuff. It was useless. So I said, like, you know, if Hamina is useless and they're the best, then I'm going to use these guys that, yeah, they may not be number one, but the number one tool didn't draw anything for me anyway. So I just came in like, if I'm going to manually draw everything in Hamina, I might as well just draw everything manually in Sidos, because this is what I'm going to use for the survey, and it's going to be easier. That's when I go to the AP on a stick. Let me just refresh this guy. When I do the AP on a stick, see, I just had some locations, and then I just went and measured and see what exactly that AP in that location measured. And I have the design in Hamina, in Sidos, and I have the survey in Sidos. So yes, it is possible. It is not as slick, but it is possible. So don't get discouraged. I know, but let me just go back to the one we were just on. Sitio Nuevo. Hey, what's the name that we gave that guy we were working on here? Let me just go back here. Office building. That's it. Okay, so if I go back to my original design, and then I go over to building, I have walls, I have doors, I have windows, and I have attenuation areas, including that air duct and the beams up there. I mean, what else you need? Well, you know, you don't have the chairs with the wheels and the legs, and like, so what? You know, well, but it doesn't look, yeah, I know, it looks kind of like rough on the edges, but I can get stuff done, man. I can get my windows, I can get my doors. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit more of manual work, but all this stuff is there already. Let's create a building then. Oh, let's create the slopes. How's that? We haven't played with the slopes yet. Let's just come here and add the stairs. So if I go to slopes, undo previous slope, Control C. I wonder why Control Z doesn't work in some areas. See, if I go to Windows, let me see, where's the stuff? Oh, it didn't work for me on the other stuff. Objects, no Control C. Oh, we were doing the columns. We couldn't Control Z out of them. But Windows has Control Z. Doors and walls have Control Z. Okay, let's go to slopes. Slope. The lower part. Okay, let's see if I remember. I think I draw from here, from slopes from here, there. So I did it from there here. If I go to 3D, okay, I guess that it drew it sideways. Yeah, no, I don't want it like that. So if I go to 2D, right click, can I right click this guy and just delete it, I guess. So if I went from here there and it drew in that direction, so I have to draw it, I don't know, from here there, I guess. Click and click. Oh, it did it the opposite way. So if we go to 3D, oh, no. Oh, yeah, it did it opposite. I want that one on this side. And okay, let me go back to 2D. And let's, actually, I can just move this guy over. Oh, can I move it? Right click. I have that guy selected, but I cannot move it. So let's delete it then. Okay, let's try again. And this one, let's just make it not go to 244. I would have these guys the opposite. I don't know why they put the height at the bottom. So if it starts at 0, let's make it go up to 1 meter. Okay. Let's change the material to be concrete. And then, so if we went from here there, so how about we go from here? 1 click and 1 click. Right, it did it the other way. Okay, let me 2D, Control Z, and then we go from here, click, and click. There we go. So I'm trying to understand the logic. And let's delete, let's go to walls, and this wall in here, right click, and let's make it glass. Let's change the material from concrete to thin glass. And let's do the same thing with this guy. If we right click, go from concrete to glass. Okay, let's go to 3D. Hey, where is this? Oh, because I have it selected. Here we go. Concrete to glass. Okay, so we have that slope in there. Let's create the other slope. So if I went from, shit, I forgot. So let's see if I click there, oh, Control Z, the escape, and then go to slopes. So I went from here, bottom up. So then I go from here, slopes. Remember, since I had concrete, let's just change this to, oh, no, we're good. We're in concrete. So this one is not going to go from 0 to 1. Is going to go, the start height is going to start at 1 meter. And let's say go to 2.4. That work? From 1 to 2.4. So we start here, click, one click, and then come all the way here, click, and then 3D. It works. See, there it is. Now I just have to create that raised floor in here. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, let me just delete this here for a second. Oh, let me go to walls, right click, delete, and right click this guy and delete. Escape, here, right click and delete. Oh, I'm in walls, I'm in walls. Okay. Now let's create this raised floor, but there's a little thingy here. Let's just delete you too. Come on. Let's make you bigger then. Now I can see you. Right click, delete. Right click, delete. Here we go. So now let's create that piece of raised floor in here. So to create this one, we're going to create an attenuation object. Let's create a new one called raised floor. Oh, attenuation, raised floor. Then let's make it green too, and let's make this, 10 dB per meter. Let's create it. And then this raised floor is gonna go, it's gonna be only 10 centimeters thick. So the height of it is 0.1. And the offset is gonna be 90. Okay, so if I create that from here, click, and come here, click, and 3D. Well, let's go to Control 3, and it's actually correct. See that? No stairs. Sorry. I don't think there is an attribute in here that we can say, hey, draw the stairs on those slopes. And remember, that's that bug that it shows that this thing is actually higher than it really is, because it's not there. It's at 1 meter. Okay. We're about to the end of this session. Let's spend the last 2 minutes showing you how to create a building and add a second floor and add a third floor, okay? Zaur, you want a license for Sidos? Use the credentials that we used yesterday, and you are student 30. What's next, guys? Yeah, let me stop sharing here real quick. Make sure we don't show nobody's names. Who's got the
38 should be next one. 38.
that's the next one? Yeah. So you're gonna be student 38. Same password as yesterday. Oh, you didn't save the password? Well, that's too bad, huh? Okay, let's give him a password. Hey, anybody just copy and paste it in the chat for Zaur. So you're gonna be student 38 at sidosclass.com. Is it Sidos class? The email? Somebody just, yeah, that's the password right there. Guillermo just pasted it. And then you're going to be student 38.
Yeah, sidosclass.com, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me then come back. And Larry, you're going to be 39. Yes, sir. So here's the thing. If I go back to 3D, I mean, it hasn't been so slick and so fast and so easy.
Share your screen.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. There you go. Let me share my screen. See, I did it on purpose and see if you guys were paying attention. Well, at least one guy was paying attention. Thank you, Guillermo. Feel so better now that I know you're paying attention. There we go. So, yes, it is not as slick as Hamina. Hamina is number one. I told you since the beginning. It's really easy. Makes us lazy. We don't have to think. You just click on it. Oh, look, all the walls and doors and windows are there. Okay, let's play some APs. Boom, done. This one, even though it's not as easy, it is possible to do everything. Yes, I'm going to tell them they have to fix this visualization bug. Okay. Because it shows that this is higher than it really is. But I can do a basic. I mean, that's all I need. Walls, doors, windows, and attenuation areas. What else do you need? Yes, we'll be able to do warehouses. Yes, I'll be able to do stuff suspended in the air. There's the air duct. That's it. I mean, you don't have to get so fancy. You just need to be able to simulate the stuff. I could even make the table the same way I did in Hamina. And guess what? It was the same amount of work. Why? Because I had to draw an attenuation area. There was the leg. And I just copy, paste. And actually, Sidos did it easier for me. Because where I have the mouse and I hit Control V, boom, drops it right there. Move the mouse somewhere else. Control V, boom, drops it right there where I have the mouse. That's spectacular. I cannot even do that with Hamina. See, if I in Hamina go and select something, where's the new test project? Here, let's see. If I have to be on edit. And let me just not see the APs. This is not about APs right now. It's about this stuff. So if I select this guy and Control C, Command C, and then let me put my mouse right here in Command V. Command V. Where did he paste it? Hang on. Let me select it again. Control C and Control V. It pasted like next to it. If I bring it over here, but then I want another one in here and then put my mouse in here and then Control V, it just pasted it wherever you wanted to. See, pasted it over there. So, good job, Sidos. Stuff as simple as that makes my life easier. And yes, it may not have a lot of stuff, but I think I'd rather take this that I can just Control C and then put my mouse there and Control V right there. I will take this any day over any cool feature that I may have on the other side. Because when I'm designing these big areas with a lot of stuff in them, and I have to copy one thing, and it's not like the columns. Simon, thanks for showing me that you can like get the distance and then Control V, just paste them in the next one. This is valuable. You have guys no idea. You have no idea how important this is. That if I want to place that guy over here and then over there, just press Control V and it places it right there. That's huge. If you guys have done designs with a lot of little tiny little things throughout and chairs and stuff, it's a pain in the ass trying to, I pasted it and they pasted it up there and then I have to go get it and drag it down. And then here, this is, I'm going to be posting, calling the Sidos guys and thanking them for this. This is awesome. Okay. Let me go over and then add another floor on top of this floor. Office building. That's my project that I have over here. If I go to, actually, see, if I go to office building, I can bring the previous projects that I have. I like this because it opens the recent ones I have. That's new and I like it. Where it says Tesos English, that's this project right here. I can rename this building or delete it or edit. In this case, I want to edit this building. See, I have my floor 1. That's the one. Now I'm going to add a floor. I'm going to add the second floor on top of this. And here is how you do it in Sidos. I'm going to bring floor 2 for now. Okay. Now I have 2 floors. The first thing it asks, the height of the floor. And then align. I don't have to align. What it's going to, I mean, I don't have to scale. Because once I do the alignment, see, I'm going to have to align these floors. Basically, that's the equivalent of doing the floor alignment points in Ekahau. And that's the equivalent of creating the building and stretching them one on top of the other in Hamina. So to tell Sidos that this floor is on top of that floor and that the floors align, we have to click the align button, eyes on the screen. Don't try to do as I do, just watch, okay? Those 2 floors, see, the first floor is this guy with the door in here. The second floor doesn't have that. It has the hole in the floor, okay? So what Sidos is asking me now is like, where do these guys align? Like which one of these points is the same on top of the other? Simon, this will be the equivalent of the warehouse where you have one big floor on the bottom and then they give you another floor plan with just the little bit where the offices are. So you'll just say like, okay, watch. The first alignment point, the first anchor, let's say I can zoom in, say like this corner, click, notice it's blue, is the same as this corner in that place, okay? I'm just telling the software that point is on top of this point. And I say, yeah, those are good. Okay, so like, okay, now show me a second point where these floors meet. Okay, they are the same. So I would say like, well, let's use this far end corner. If I can zoom in and say like, you know what, this corner of this floor is the same. Let me just click and drag this guy and say, that's the same corner as this map. And I say both anchors are set. And now this is the equivalent of the orange on top of the black in Hamina. But then now that I set the alignment points, it brings it up. And then, yes, floor 1, notice the black area is what only exists on floor 1. The blue area, that's floor 2. And then that kind of like shows them overlaid one on top of the other. And if they match, then it's like, yeah, save these alignment points. I have now created a building. If I go to done editing, I have a building. The only thing that I do not have in here is the 3D visualization of both floors. That they don't have, okay? So I still have like, if I want to go to the next floor, see, if I want to, let me go to 2D. I'm on this floor right now, floor 1. If I go to floor 2, that's it. But now I do not have the visualization of that building. Like really cool that we have in Hamina. We don't have that here. But it's okay, still doing signal prediction. Now we're gonna have to start drawing everything. Well, if I go to floor 1, I'm on walls. If I do Control A, select all the walls, Control C, copy all the walls. Go to the second floor and Control V. There you have it. There are all the walls right there. Yes, I may have to go and draw some more because see, the second floor has these rooms that the first floor didn't have. Well, big deal, German. Look at this. I can just come here to walls and then we can choose drywall. And I can just click, 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 right click, and then here click. And with the snap wall, that's easy. Click and right click. And let's just leave it at that for now. And then if I want to add then the door, I come to door and let's say I draw a door here, click. Oh, not a drywall door. I want to do glass. And let's just say it goes from here, click. Oh, let me zoom in. From here, click to there, click. And another one from here, click to there, click. And 3D. And there you have it. I just drew another one. Okay, so that in regard to walls. I think the other thing we can copy, I wonder, well, door, if I select the door on the first floor, on the first floor, wait a minute. Looks like it brought all the windows and doors too. Oh man, that's even better. Okay, I don't have to worry about bringing those since they were already attached to the walls. It brought them all along. That's good. So that takes care of walls, doors, and windows. Let's go to 2D. I'm on the second floor now. First floor, second floor, first floor. Let's go to objects. Now that I'm in objects, if I do Control A, it says 32 objects selected. So objects will be like the columns, the chairs, the tables, and the air duct. If I Control C, Control C, and then go to the second floor and Control V. Ooh, they're all there, but not where they go. So let's click on this guy. Yeah, let's Control Z. Will Control C work? It didn't place him where the other one was. It just placed him off, and they were not all selected. So that's going to be a pain because I'm going to have to move them manually like this. And I cannot, as far as I remember, do like a multiple selection. I'm holding my Shift key, my Command key. How about Control key? Control. Okay, Control worked. Now we're all of them selected, 31 objects because the air duct is up here. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I select them all and place them where I need them. And then maybe I just, so what did I hold? Control. If I control and draw a box around these guys, I have those selected and I can just delete it. Okay, that was not too bad. Keep in mind then, to do a multiple selection of stuff, you hold the Control key and draw a box around what you want. And then all of those are selected. Oh, the slope floors didn't come along because that's not an object. Or I wonder if I can come to slope floors on the first floor. Can I do the same thing? Control, select them both. Can I copy them? Can I copy them? Probably not. Control C. If I come over here, Control V. Okay, copy, paste in slopes doesn't work. Copy, paste, slope doesn't work. No worky. Okay. Well, but at least it gets me halfway there. Now, I have, watch this. If I go to my coverage, all of these signals, I don't have any APs in here. All of these signals are coming from the APs on the first floor. Let me just make this the same size. Let's fill this in. Let's go to the second floor. and fill it in. All of these signals are signals bleeding from the access points on the first floor. Now, watch one of the really, really cool features that Sidos has that nobody else does, and I like it. If I click on this access point, it shows me that that access point is covering this horizontally. In here, to the left, that's the AP A1, that's a Cisco 9120, that's that high from the ground up. It's on the ceiling, and if I see, notice that it has the show radiation pattern selected. If I go to 3D, it shows me what the radiation pattern of that access point is in the map. See? Now watch this. If that AP is mounted on the wall, it shows what the radiation pattern of that AP mounted on the wall is. And also shows me what the coverage is if I want to like move that AP against this wall. See? Like one of those play or in the beam. Not that that happens in real life, that they have you mount one of these APs on the wall like that. I'm just saying, hypothetically, right? Seen all the time, everywhere. It shows me the coverage that that guy is going to have. And watch this. Of course, we're playing with an omnidirectional antenna, but it shows that if that AP is right there, here's where the main area is, and this is the radiation pattern. This is why when I go to the upper floor, let me go to 2D and go to the upper floor. Oh, and select this guy. I go to the upper floor. See, this is the area being covered by that access point below. Let me, oh, here's another thing. If I select this guy, oh, how do I, hang on. Oh, well, maybe it is something for the survey. No, it should show me that here as well. There is something here. Let me try one thing. What survey do I have multiple floors? No, you know what? This should show me some mini maps in here. I'll ask about the mini maps because this should show me a mini map in here with all of the floors. I'll ask about the mini maps. Okay. So now that I have created this building, if I go to the second floor, let me go to the 2D visualization. Let me go to, oh, I have to unselect that guy. Go to the second floor. Then now I can start just adding access points in here. Notice that it shows that all of these guys are on the floor below. That arrow pointing down is like, yeah, these guys are on the floor below. Because if I come here and click there, see, and click here and click there, it's just showing that all these signals are coming from APs in the floor below. So if I select this tower, it selects the coverage of that AP on this floor, and it shows that that guy is on the floor below. If I click on this tower, see that AP on channel 116, that's this guy. And it just shows that this is bleed from that AP. If I go to 3D, bring this guy over here, let's see. It shows me the radiation pattern of that AP. See, that is on the floor below. It's in the ceiling of the floor below. But then remember, that's why the radiation patterns that I see of the access points, I love that these guys do this because it shows me where the access point is and how much energy bleeds down, which is the down tilt. That's where it's intended to do. But notice that there is energy above the access point. So if we look at this in here, let me select this guy. It shows that AP is on the floor below. See, it shows right here, floor below, AP 11. And this is the energy coming up. And it shows how much of this energy is bleeding up to this floor. This is really cool because we have to show that to people sometimes. You're connected to the AP on the floor below, then this in signal prediction is important. Yes, all the tools do it, but this one gives me a better visual, okay? Let me unselect this guy. Let me click edit. This is my edit button. And then now I can see that all of these signals that I have in here are bleed from the APs on the floor below. If I want to start adding my access points in here, then sure, not a problem. I can just start, let's say I'm going to add one in this room and add one. You don't want to have signals from the other rooms be your main signal. So let's just add our own APs in here. Let's add another one there. And let's put another one here and another one there and another one here. And let's place one over here. All right. The one thing I have not done is cut the hole in the floor. We're going to leave this for the next session because in here, in Sidos, it's done differently. Actually, let's do it right now. See, if I go to areas let's go to buildings. Because areas of interest, it's very similar to the coverage areas in Ekahau or the scope areas or scope zones in Hamina. But in here, I can just include, let's say, this click, and I can just draw either boxes like this, or let me escape this out of this guy. What is, hang on, rectangle, here we go. It's right here. I can either, like, because right now, if I do rectangles, I can just do a whole bunch of rectangles and it's gonna just add them together. So if I click there and click here, that's coverage area. If I click here and here, that's coverage area, but it just creates one. Or I can click here and there, and then it covers that. Well, notice that there's a little gap in between. Well, if I want to take care of that gap, I can just draw another area here, click, click, and now there's just one area, okay? I just did it with multiple rectangles. Let's just say that's floor 2, and if I go to floor 1, I'm going to come to the include, and instead of using rectangles, I'm going to use free form. For free form, click all the way here. Click. There's a black line. See that little black line? It's just that you don't see it when you're here. So if I come over here, click, and there, click, and then here, click, and there, click, and then down there, click, and there, click, and here, click, and there, click, and right click. Now I just drew my free form area. That's one way to define what the areas that I want. If I don't care about this elevator, let me just go over to coverage. See, if I don't care about these stairs or the elevators, so I can go in and go to the areas of interest and exclude. See, I'm going to exclude, let's say, these stairs areas in here. And I'm on free form. I can either draw it like this, click, click, click. Let me zoom in because it's not letting me. Here we go. Click. Come on. Click. And now here, click. And now there, click and right click. I just excluded that area. Or I can just switch from free form to rectangles and I can just draw a rectangle here. Click. Click. Come on. Come on. Exclude rectangle. And right there. It's a little bit off, but yeah, that works. If I go to the second floor, I'm on rectangle and I want to exclude this guy, not drawing it, but with a rectangle right there, and then click and done. And then right here, click and done. I just excluded those two areas. So if now I go to my coverage, there's no signal prediction in there. I mean, it's still doing math through that area, but it is not showing me visualizations in there. Now, that is the other option of areas of interest, what I want to include, what I want to exclude. The other way that we could do this, let me just add it real quick. Let's go to the office, to the Tesos and building, edit it, add the third floor, add the third floor, open that guy. And now, notice what's the height? Yeah, that's the height. And as soon as it comes up, we're going to have the align button here. Come on. Align. So let's align that guy and say, like, which one do you want to align that with? The first one or the second one? Let's say, let's align with the second one. Okay. Then now it puts second and third side to side. Same thing. How do we align them? We'll just find two things that are the same. Let's do point 1 is this corner. Let's just tell, like, yeah, those are good. Let's use a different point in this one as the second. Let's see what happens. Say that's the second, and this is the second. And both are good. Now it brings them up, kind of line them up, and say, yep, save this alignment. Now I have, see, 3 floors. If I come over here and go to building, I have floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3. Now, I could copy the walls and paste them over here. You already saw that. But what I'm going to show you is the last option in here called floors. In here, if I'm in floors, I can just define where there is a floor. So in floors, I'm going to go to the free form, and I'm just going to tell, like, look, from here, click to there, click to down here, click to over there, click to down here, click to over there, click, and down here, click, and over there, click, and over here, click, and click, there you go, and right click. Then I just basically told it this is that floor. There's nothing else in here. So on the second floor, see, if I go down to the second floor, this is a hole in the floor. We did that in Hamina. Remember, we cut this floor, just cut that space so we could see through. Then if in here, I'm doing signal prediction and I have this access point selected, it shows that on the second floor, see, oh, wait a minute, I did not define. Hang on, let me go over to building. In the third floor, I have this floor. In here, I don't have one defined, but I wonder why that was doing, like, showing only signals. Yeah, let me go over to my coverage. And let's go, see, this is the first floor, the entire thing. The second floor, me and select this guy. The second floor, I didn't draw. Okay, this one is unexpected because on the second floor, I haven't drawn anything. This should be showing signals everywhere. I haven't drawn because the hole in the floor, if I go over to building, I can draw a hole in the floor here on the second floor in this area. Oh, maybe because I don't have area of interest, that shouldn't be right. So if I cut a hole in the floor in here, I have that defined. Yeah, I have a hole in the floor in there. So this is how you cut a hole in the floor. Same thing as we did in Hamina. It's just called holes. You just cut a hole in a building. Let me go over to the coverage. And then this would be an area where we just need to draw a pony wall, a short wall in here. Because going through 3D, I don't have a wall in there. This is the first floor. Wait a minute, there is something funky in here. If I'm on the second floor doesn't have this. The first floor does. See that guy? Did we duplicate? No, we didn't duplicate anything. We just imported the other floor plan. If I go to the third floor, okay, we go to the second. That's not the second. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm messing up because I copy pasted the walls. That's it. These walls don't exist up here. I'm getting confused, but actually there isn't one. So that I haven't fixed. My bad. I just have to go in and delete these walls because they don't exist up here. Okay. But then now what we have is we have created the building, and now we have added a third floor and drew a floor on just that area without defining any coverage area. With this, man, we went long today, but that's okay because today is Friday and I will not be having another session till next week, probably Thursday, because I'm going to New York. I'm going for that class in New Haven and Yale, and then I'm going to be busy. I leave today and I'll be over there. Let's see what else I have on the chat before we leave. So Mauro took 40. Let's see, Google Docs, I changed.
Yes, I take 40 because
Okay.
3.1 was already used.
Oh, okay. Oh, the mini maps work. Larry has it in there. Okay, let me go see because I was not seeing it on mine. What's the difference between green and black radiation patterns? Green looks like next 65, so it's black. It's the same shape as the green, but smaller. Black is 5 gig, green is 2.4. ChatGPT is wrong. That's not what green is. Okay, let me look at if I select this guy. See, I have an IP selected. I don't see my mini maps. Let me refresh. Sometimes all you have to do is refresh.
Yeah, so when you play with the port level of the 2.4 radio, it changes the, and 5 and 2.4 it changes, but it's not when I changed it 2.4, it changed one of them then, and when I changed 5 gigahertz, it didn't change properly. It also changed the green one. I'm trying to understand what's the difference.
Oh, but trying to understand that on this one. Is that what you're saying? The green and the black? I think this is where the let me just zoom in.
Yeah, the black one is the same size and shape, but different. So it changed somehow when you play with the power levels, but I still cannot find a pattern.
Okay, we'll figure it out on the next session, and I'll ask these guys. I'll talk to Constantine and see if we can get that figure out. But all of this, especially when we get to the warehouses and drawing, playing with directional antennas, this makes a big difference, huge difference when we were designing. So
that's
this
an awesome
feature. This is a very nice feature that I love, and only the Sidos guys do it. This is amazing. This is really cool because then you know what's the actual like coverage and reach of those access points in those spaces. So with this, my friends, I think we get to the end of session 374 of Tesos and Wi-Fi. Today's Friday, August 14, 2026. We have been playing, exploring, and I discovered a really cool feature in Sidos that nobody else does, that when I copy something, an attenuation area, a couch, a column, and then where I put the mouse next time and Control V, bam, it drops it right there, which is really cool because on the other software, it just pasted next to it or behind it or above it. This one is where I have the mouse, Control V, bang. That's the feature of the day, man. My day is complete now. I got to hang out with you guys. German, thanks for coming. Martin, everybody. I know it's too many people here to say bye to every single one at a time, but I learned something new today. Isn't that exciting? Then, yes, we're learning that we can do really cool things here. That softwares, they all have their strengths, but the math is the same. And there are many other cool features that I will tell you about Sidos, okay? And this is the best part. We're learning all of this at our own pace, at our own time, for free. Isn't that cool, man? We're learning and getting licenses thanks to the Sidos guys for bringing those licenses to us. I know it hasn't been like really smooth that you just go create the account and it works. Everybody gets one. Then, oh, say hi to Tuna. Enjoy your dinner, German, and get better, man. Take good care of you. And Mark, looks like you're playing with it big time, huh? You have the scale in a weird...
What's the measurement? What's the dimension? I can't remember the number to get it set.
14 meters from here to there.
Very good, thanks.
Yeah, but then notice that you don't have to scale every floor. Once you scale one, the floor alignment points, they better be at the same distance from each other, so it automatically does the scale, which is clever, okay? So, this, my friends, we get to the end of this session. Today, we explore more Sidos systems. We learn how to draw walls and doors and windows and attenuation areas and our dots. And then we played with adding some APs. And the other thing I learned today is that you can export this design and then it makes a copy of everything. And you can just say, and this new one I'm going to create with another vendor. If you are a reseller and you sell, let's say, Raquel, Cisco, and Aruba, and a customer asks for quotes and say, yeah, but I don't know what I want, give me 3 quotes, then you can make 3 designs with 3 different ones and then just go and move APs around and change heights and change things. Then, yeah, you can just do really cool stuff with this. This saves a lot of time. This is really cool. 2 really exciting things I learned today. I'm excited. This is a great way to end the week. Guys, I'll see you next time. I don't know when next time is going to be. Just keep eyes out there. Share the links for the registration form and the Wi-Fi of Things website. Remember, free love for everybody and free Wi-Fi training for everyone. Have a great weekend. See you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, Ferney.
Bye. Take care.
Hi, Ferney. Thank you.
You're welcome.